Hi there. Good day, everybody. My name is Vasanth. I'm a NEET expert. I actually kind of train the NEET aspirants to achieve their dreams. And today, we're going to check on a few topics on the chapter Why We Fall in from class 9. And I have an experience of 9+ years in teaching NEET aspirants. So let's see what are we going to see in this topic. Okay, shall we? Just allow me a minute. I hope everybody is able to see my screen. Yes. So the topics which we are going to look into is the fungal diseases and worm diseases. Fungal diseases are usually the fungal-based stuff, and worm diseases usually the helminths. Helminthic diseases. Okay, also. So let's look into fungal diseases and helminthic diseases in brief. Detailed information and a little brief about the disease conditions. Okay, shall we? So fungal diseases usually, I hope you all remember studying about this chapter called diversity in living organisms. In that, you have studied about 5 kingdom classification, which involve Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and Animalia. Right? So these are the 5 kingdom classifications. So the fungi actually plays an important role in the classification system itself, because it actually holds characteristic features of some of the features of the plants and some of the characteristic features of the eukaryotes, because they actually depend on nutrition outside, and they also have cell wall and other characteristic features. But very few, not completely all the features of plantae and all the features of Animalia. It would be like precursor of all these animals. That would possibly be understandable. Now, fungus being an organism, okay, it actually has cell wall. As I have already discussed, it has cell wall, and it is made up of chitin. Because and under plants and in the tissues chapter, you have studied the outer cell wall is made up of cellulose, right? That's for plants, cellulose in plants. But in the case of fungus, the outer cell wall is made up of chitin. It's a fungus. Okay, so this is the one of the most important factor about fungus. So but fungus is not disease causing all of them, okay, because some of them are edible also, some of them are toxic, and some of them are very proteinaceous, and then calcium rich and potassium rich and stuff. So when it comes to mushroom, it's very good edible substitute for protein and calcium and potassium stuff. So it is edible in nature, but not all mushrooms are edible. So you should be very careful. Some of them are toxic in nature. Some of them are toxic in nature. So there are different types of fungus, which could cause disease condition. So some of them are extremely dangerous. Some of them are can be removed easily from the body's existence. So you're going to see some examples over here. Okay. So the first things that you're going to see about types is the ringworm. Okay, so ringworms are like this. You can see this in this video or in the picture. So this is ringworm. This is usually caused by a microorganism that's again fungal, and that is what ringworm causes caused by. And candidiasis is actually a fungal infection which is caused in the skin, usually in the joints and in the nails, and in the tongue and the oral region, even in the neck esophagus region, okay, beyond the foot in the footprint. So that's where the candidiasis actually takes place. And aspergillus, it's actually extremely dangerous. Why is it that way? Because there'll be filament structure. Aspergillus is something like this. So it will have fungal spores everywhere on top of it. So these fungal spores keep on, liberating spores. So when this fungal spores actually are transferred through air, so when it is actually, inhaled inside, the spores get deposited in the lungs, and in the lungs they will start to, grow and then causes the complete completely occupying the region of the lung. So that's how the fungal disease actually kind of establishes its ground in the human body. So it's very dangerous. It actually spoils the complete mechanism in the body, and metabolic reactions will be like stopped because of inadequate supply of oxygen, because it will take over all the surface area, so that oxygen will not be sufficient, and due to accumulation of this fungal spores, and then fungal particles, there'll be inflammation. This would cause a serious disease, respiratory disease. So not as worse as the COVID-19, the COVID strains that we have been going through. But this thing is like curable, but it is life-threatening. It has a life-threatening threat. Okay, that's why we should be very, very careful about fungal diseases. So fungal diseases should not be taken very carelessly. And ringworms, candidiasis, both of them requires timely attention. So if it is actually given left first, it will get worsened up, and then it will lead to serious skin issues. So that's why you should be very, very careful when it comes to ringworm and candidiasis. It can be spread easily from one person to another. So even if it is going to be in a family, person one who is infected by any of these ringworm and candidiasis, they should actually wash their clothes. They should actually use things in a separate basis. That's how you can get rid of the fungal disease and avoid others getting the diseases. Okay, so that's about the fungal diseases. And next thing is worm disease. So there are a lot of worms, so that could actually cause disease in our body. So these worms doesn't enter into our body as worms. Usually they enter in the form of cyst. CYST, cyst. What is this? Cyst is nothing but the egg form of the worms. Okay, so this actually enter into our body, and then they mature, and then after that, they will hatch into a larva, a worm, and then they will try to grow in our body, by utilizing the nutrients from our body, and then they grow into our body. And then once after they are grown, they'll try to reproduce. And increase their population. So, but they stay in the body, and then they keep on laying eggs by accumulating our nutrition, and then so this is one reason where the person who's affected by this will become malnourished. And this is this could also be contaminated water, food, usually, because when a person who's infected is open defecated, and the flies sit on the fecal matter, and then flies back, and then sits in the nearby places wherever the food could be prepared. Possibly anything could be possible. We should be very careful when it comes to disease causing agents. Okay, so we have some examples with which we will actually understand worm diseases. Example is ascariasis. This is ascariasis. Ascariasis is caused by Ascaris lumbricoides. This is the scientific name of the organism. So they have male and female organism. So next one is tapeworm. It is also called Tinea solium. So that's actually the scientific name of a tapeworm. So tapeworms are usually infected, usually transferred infected to cattle and pigs. So it is usually that the spores will be spread all over on the in the general place where there is open defecation happens, because of the person who's infected goes outside and defecates openly. In their fecal matter, the spores and the eggs will be discharged, and when they dry up and when they burst open, and then the eggs will be blown away in wind, and then they get transferred to different places, and then when that is being fed upon, this causes tapeworm. So even the pigs usually eats the fecal matter, because pigs cannot categorize anything. It cannot describe food and anything. So it just eats anything that it gets to fill itself. So that's why in certain religions we don't eat pigs. So next one is liver fluke. Liver fluke is also called as animal which is causing liver fluke. The animal which is causing this disease is called liver fluke. It is the scientific name of the animal is called Fasciola hepatica. So this animal again, feeds upon the hepatocytes. Hepatocytes means liver cells. So on doing so, the function of the liver will be suppressed, and it will not be able to function on a proper basis. And obviously, the worm will be causing an ill effect or disease to the human being. So that's how worse the worm disease could be. So these are some examples about worm disease. So usually the worms reproduce in our body by utilizing our nutrition. And when they go outside, it is obvious that they will not go outside. Instead, they will just deliver the eggs outside. Because once they have found a nice place where they can be comfy and get the nutrition, and they just can reproduce at any time. So they will just stay there in the body, and then when they are thrown, when they are actually sent outside, they don't go outside. Instead, they will just send the eggs that they lay millions and millions, and then they will just send, so that it can get its reproduction done, and then its offsprings, and then generations of generation, their species still exists. So that's the process of reproduction. So these are the different types of worm disease. So I hope every one of you understand the topics about fungal and worm disease. We have few questions on top of which we'll discuss. Okay, so which one of the following is not a bacterial disease? Okay, so this might sound like a very tough question, because apart from anthrax, tuberculosis, and cholera, all the influenza is actually a virus. Influenza virus is caused by influenza virus. So all the other three are bacterial diseases. So influenza is the answer. So next one, which one was the following disease not caused by bacteria? Okay. So here, this is also an easy answer. Tuberculosis is caused by bacteria, anthrax is caused by bacteria, and typhoid is also caused by bacteria, but malaria is caused by protozoa. Okay, we'll be learning about this in the upcoming video. So we have a special video prepared for certain other diseases like virus and then like that. So we'll see them over there. So as I said, it's malaria. So next question will be what will be the longest tapeworm? What will be the size? What will be the size of the longest tapeworm? So that will be the question. So do you have any guess, guys? I hope you should be searching internet. But when you find an answer, you'll be totally shocked. So the longest is somewhere around 8.8 meters. 8.8 meters. So this was the head of the worm, and this is the length of the worm that was actually taken out. So this is what you can actually get into. You should be very, very careful when you have food outside. So try to have food that is healthy to you, and try not to get over enthusiastic when it comes to tasting food. So you should be very healthy rather than getting sick all the time. So I hope you have enjoyed all the things. Thank you so much for spending your time in this video, and I hope you have learned some good stuff in this class. And if you're not able to ask any questions, I would suggest you to opt for our online classes, live classes, so that you can actually get your doubts clarified in real time. And if you still have few questions, you can post them in our forum. So we have dedicated teachers who are always ready to answer them. So you will get an answer for sure in less than 2 days or 24 hours time. And looking forward to see you in upcoming classes. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day.